Okay, I'm gonna wait and see if you guys can see this live. Like the other live just froze on my side. Okay, so I'm gonna give people a few more minutes to see if that notification went out. And in the meantime, I'm gonna look up to see what that um, Lauren Hill song was. Miss Education. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. Um, oh no, it wasn't a miseducation of Lauren Hill. It was the unplug. I think it was her unplug MTV unplugged video. Okay, so I'm waiting for you guys to come on back in. Um, it was her MTV unplugged video. I can't. Oh, it's and the song is called "It's Freedom Time." So if y'all ever get a chance to check that out, you should check out "It's Freedom Time." Okay, so um, let me open up the chat so I can see the chat. Give me a second. Uh, I done lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was saying to you guys. Okay. I'm just opening up the chat so I can see. See, it's not even showing that I'm live. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I can see the chat. Okay. You can hear me now? Okay. I don't know what happened. My whole screen just went black and I couldn't see you guys. Okay. I was talking about my okay, so this my son, okay, so he says to me, Mom, I don't understand why she had to come to school dressed like that. It was like she was barely wearing any clothes. And I can just tell Mom that she wanted a lot of attention, you know? Um, so when I'm thinking he's not getting what I'm saying to him and how to pay attention to this type of energy, he's picking it up, right? So my son sometimes, especially my 16-year-old, he's about to be 17 in 2 weeks, right? Sometimes even, and he's a Pisces. So sometimes he think that I'm doing too much, but then he comes back and say, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you was right on it. You were right on it. You were right on it." So the point that I've been trying to make, my loves, is pay attention to the archetypes and the cloning of certain types of energy. You're now going to see that you can pick up the archetype of energy that certain people are dealing with. It's like a hive mentality, right? A hive mentality. You're going to even hear them repeat the same talking points, right? You're going to even hear them have the same stance as somebody else. It's like they're not able to independently think for themselves. So your bioelectric and magnetic field is being tampered with right now, right? And the way that that's being done is by fucking up how you think, right? And messing with how you feel on an emotional level, all right? So you need to pay attention to that. Listen, I'm not saying that you got to join any type of religious sector or anything like that. What I am saying as you're moving through this energy is that you need to be spiritually inclined. You need to find a spiritual routine that's going to guide you through a lot of this energy, because a lot of what's being pushed out to you right now is not spiritual stuff. It's very materialistic and it's a distraction. Okay, so you need to pay attention to that, right? And I know this may sound like what's that word, when something cliche, right? Don't take everything personal in this season. Like, 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 don't. Understand in this season that there are pockets of people that are going to be operating with a certain type of mentality, and there are pockets of people that's going to believe a certain type of thing, right? This is why with this shift, it's important for you to think independently. In this shift, it's important for you to be aware of what's being said and what's not being said so you can know how to move, right? Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know, and I think I said that at the top of the last video, right? Um, Astrology, numerology, more so particular astrology, you're going to see that change as we navigate throughout the next 10 to 15 years, right? You're going to see a lot more of and I'm not saying that things are going to like disappear, but what you're going to see is things are going to start to be more expounded on, right? So you're going to see astrology changing within the next 10 to 15 years. Anyone that's been abusing their power and this energy, they're going to get called out in this energy. So if you've been abusing your power, you need to reconcile that. You need to reconcile any abusive power energy that you have, whether it's in your parenthood, whether it's in you being in charge of people. This is not the season for you to take advantage of the power that you've been given, okay? Emotional intelligence is also something as we're moving throughout this energy that's going to be huge, okay? I think it was, and I don't know if you on here, I don't know if you're on here, Latasha. Latasha, were you the one that was saying that you had a blood transfusion? Because there was something I wanted to share with you. Okay, so there was something I wanted to share with you. Were you the one that's saying that you also had a blood transfusion, Latasha? I think it was you that said that. So I do have something to share with you if that was you, because I don't have access to the old chat. I think that was you, right? Okay, so this is going to, so do you, okay, so for example, my blood type is O positive, right? So I don't know if you're aware of your blood type, but this is what I want to say to you, right? You are going to have to do, and I don't know if you've done this already, right? Because what I realized was after the transfusion, it took me a minute to feel like myself, right? And I'm not so much, a little bit on the physical side too, because I would feel tired at first. So a little bit on the physical side, but definitely on the emotional and mental and spiritual side, it took me a second to reconnect with myself, right? So one of the things that I can recommend to you if you have not picked this up yet is that you're going to have to start to kind of like not so much in a meditative sense, but you're going to have to speak to that new blood that new bloodstream that has entered your system, right? So for example, because I kind of believe a lot of what's going on right now, I've been saying this before I jumped off the internet, like your DNA is being upgraded, right? So at a certain point, it was kind of like, okay, my DNA was already on a shift of upgrade, and then I had to have a blood transfusion, which means now I have like a different like code or pattern that was inserted into my original pattern, right? So what I needed to do is I needed to retrain my DNA. And I hope I'm making sense. Please let me know if I'm making sense, and I could go into a little bit more detail of how I did that, right? One of the things that I had to do, Latasha, was a lot of chanting and a lot of tuning forks, right? I found this really good video on YouTube that had all of the tuning forks, and I would listen to that for hours, right? So I don't know what your experience is, or what your experience was with that, but I personally felt a little bit off. It took me a second for me to kind of center myself again. So I had to start to reprogram myself after my transfusion. I had to kind of, yeah, yeah, that, yeah. Yeah. So you understand, I had to literally like connect the newness, like the new, because it's kind of like having somebody else's energy imported into your energy, right? So just so you know, whenever you're feeling off balance, you need to tune yourself. Sit in a place, preferably some place where it's not a lot of light, maybe even at night where it's not a lot of light, and have those different frequencies. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, exactly. Chant to the frequencies, right? Preferably in a space where you're not getting a lot of light, So maybe at night, or maybe if you're going to do it during the day, you want to do it in a room where the blinds are closed and your curtain is closed. You want to do that. You don't want to do that with a lot of light, because you're dealing with your deeper level of your bioelectric field. So you don't want any unnecessary light coming in. You want to reprogram the light code or readjust the light code in your body, okay? So that's just something that I had to do after my transfusion. I didn't feel like myself. I felt very disconnected. I wasn't, and, and can I tell y'all something else? So I came into an awareness of, or a different level of understanding, as I've been off social media for a few years now, right? And I'm gonna tell you, you will see a difference. You will see a difference. You will see a difference in even how you feel, how you think, and you will also begin to feel the energy actually move through your body. Okay. Ooh, that's another thing, y'all. And I don't know if any of y'all are experiencing this, okay? And Leslie, if you're on here, this may be good for you too, right? Pay attention to how energy is moving throughout your body. Pay attention to the places within your body where you feel tight, or where you feel stiff, okay? And then you want to make sure that you're breathing in to those places, or you're asking those places what you're holding on to. So pay attention to the energy that's being locked away in your body as you're moving throughout this transit for the next 20 years. It's going to be important, because some things are really, some things are already being asked to release. Yeah. Leslie, that's important for you too, Leslie. Pay attention to where energy feels like it's locked in your body, okay? And before you go to sleep at night, that's probably the best way to take inventory. And the first thing when you wake up in the morning, just literally just breathe and see where the energy is not flowing properly. And wherever the energy is not flowing properly as you breathe, you want to send a lot of love there. So one of the things that I discovered while I was in hermit mode was the secret to all of this stuff, which is love and forgiveness. And I know that may not sound like very wise, and I discovered on this journey within the past 2 years that love and forgiveness is where I needed to reside, right? That was my place of neutrality. In this energy that we're moving in, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. In this energy that we're moving in, and I told y'all when I jumped on earlier, we're in a place right now where the world is not full of, the world is not vibrating a lot of love right now. The world is not vibrating a lot of compassion right now, right? The world is vibrating a lot of separation and division right now. And the game changer in all of this is love. Like, and then once I discovered that that's what it was, right? My next thought was, well, you mean I can't really judge nobody no more? Like, I can't even, like, if I see somebody doing something that's not even, that's not what that means. That means that you can see somebody doing something and still choose to send them love. Because anybody that gets it, you understand that division and separation is not what you should be teaching in this energy right now. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big your platform is. If you are teaching division, you're going to have to eventually pay for that, because that's you manipulating power. You are not supposed to be teaching division and separation in this time, right? You're supposed to be teaching love. Now, that don't mean that you put up with the bullshit. That is not what that means. What that means is that you recognize and you understand this person vibrates at a certain type of energy. Okay, that's not how I vibrate, but I love you enough for you to have that experience, and I don't have to interfere with that. I'm just going to be over here doing my thing. That's all that means, right? So you're allowing people the space, the freedom, and the free will to have their experience it without you feeling a way about that, right? And it's not to say that we're perfect human beings and we're never going to have an opinion about something. It's okay for you to have your opinion, but it's also okay for you to respect that this is not everybody's graduation. Not everybody's going to get it. Not everybody's going to understand. Not everybody wants to do the work, right? Not everybody wants to forgive. And that's okay. Everybody on this journey, everybody have the right to do so. So once I come to that particular awakening, and once I had a level of understanding that that's what this shit been about all this time. So then I asked him, so what, like, what is all of this for? Like, now that I got it, like, what's next? Like, what's the point? Like, so what the point? What am I supposed to be sharing with people? Like, I don't get, like, I've been said love. I've been said accountability. But when I finally got it, like, really, really got it, even in my own personal relationships, I am able to pick up now when we're having a conversation and you're projecting and it's not my shit, it's your shit. I love you enough for you to experience it. I love you enough to project it on me. But me being mentally whole and emotionally whole enough to know that I don't always have to be right. I don't always have to be able to let you know that you're wrong. I don't have to do that. I no longer feel the need to debate with people. I don't have to debate anymore. I don't have to debate anymore. It is what it is. I don't have to fight you anymore. I don't have to combat with you anymore. I have discovered that fighting with you and combating with you means that I'm fighting and combating with myself, and I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. Every experience that I've had up until this point is to help me to be who I am right now in this moment. And it may not necessarily match who you are in this moment. We may not necessarily be on the same wavelength or waveform, but I have the power to think independently. And it's okay for you to think in your clicks if you need to. It's okay for you to have an independent thought that doesn't match with mine. But I don't gotta be right. I don't have to be right. So the need to be right, you need to deal with that. Oh yeah, debating is draining. I don't do that anymore. Like, yeah, and if I can be honest, I know that I need to be on streaming more because I'm being pushed to do that. And Leslie, what I would say is, Leslie, you don't need your peace, you need your wholeness. We've been and this is another thing that I've been practicing for the past 2 years. I try to be very aware of words and what things mean now. And my kids, it gets on their nerves, right? It gets on their nerves. But when I start to think about etymology, right? Even if you say you need your peace or let me have a piece of, in etymology, it's still the same. Hey, how are you doing, Mama? I've missed you guys too. So even though you say you need peace, right? Like I need a piece of mind, or can I please have a piece of pie? It's still not a whole. So what you need is wholeness. And right before I took my hermit mode vacation, we talked about that. We talk about no longer one in peace, but one in wholeness, right? So it's so think about it from that aspect. And wholeness is what I've been saying to you guys for about 20 minutes on this particular live not right now, right? Wholeness is being mentally and emotionally balanced, being neutral. Now, neutral does not mean, let me give you an example of neutral, okay? And I'm going to put this more in a sense of what Latasha, I think, just said. Latasha said that she don't debate anymore because it's draining, right? When you're neutral with something, you understand that right and wrong is really just a polarity, just like hot and cold, right? So you don't have to be on the right side, and you don't necessarily have to be on the wrong side. You can be in the middle and understand that in order for you to know what hot, and in order for you to know what warm is, you need to know what hot and what cold is, right? And you choose to be neutral. Neutral means that you don't have to have an opinion about everything. You don't need to be right about everything. You understand that in this world there's going to be good and there's going to be bad, but what can you take? What's the lesson? Neutrality is, what's the lesson? What was this experience here to teach me? What did this teach me about myself? Right? What did this experience, because everything is here to teach you either something you need to embrace, something you need to let go, something you need to forgive, something that you need to understand, something you may need to understand. Life is always here to show you an aspect of you, right? And I'm going to give y'all another thing. There's this particular person on YouTube whose content, because I like to psychoanalyze people. I like to see, what makes people think. I like human behavior, and I like to pay attention to why somebody does the things that they do, right? So this one particular person on YouTube, I've been shifting through their content, and a lot of their content is more along the lines of like the red pill community, right? The male red pill community, where women are delusional and women need to stay in their place and all of this different type of stuff, right? And as I'm going through his content, I'm realizing that a lot of his content is not who he is as an individual. It's really clickbait to get an audience, riled up. It's not for me to take personally. It's really for me to take whatever lessons I can get from his content or not and move forward, right? So what we need to understand as we're moving throughout this energy is, don't get caught up in the clicks. Be an independent thinker. Be a rational thinker for you to be able to pull out the truth out of any given situation and then move accordingly. Be neutral. You don't have to be right all of the time. This is not the energy where you want to be right all of the time. You want to be in the right now, but you don't necessarily have to be right. So debating with people and trying to get your point and prove your point, that's not what we are. This Aquarius energy is going to require you to be an independent thinker, right? Because Aquarius energy deals with groups. So sometimes when you're dealing with a group of people, it's more difficult for you to focus on what's good for the individual because you're still thinking about what's good for the groups. But if you pay attention to, people have already formed their groups and their cliques. There's already groups and cliques out here, right? So don't get caught up in a group and a clique. Be an independent thinker. So if this group and this clique says something that's truthful that you can pull from, you can pull from that. If this group over here says something that you can pull from and make your life better, make your life easier, you can pull from that, right? It don't have to be, oh, y'all full of shit, so I can't listen to none. No, this is not the energy to do that. This is the energy to understand that your bioelectric magnetical field is being fucked with. And the way it's being fucked with is by your mind and by your emotions. And I told y'all 2.5 years ago that you were going to see a lot more mentally unstable people. Didn't I tell y'all that? I told y'all that 2.5 years ago. Before I went off of social media, I told you guys that mental and emotional instability was going to be on the forefront, right? And that is happening in real time. I also told you guys that timelines were shifting and you were going to be able to see where you are along the timeline. I told you guys that. This was not going to be an energy where you would have to figure out what end of the spectrum that you are. You don't really need to figure that out right now. You can look around you and you can know based on how people move and how people act and how people behave what part of the timeline that you're on. And I'm gonna give you one even better. Okay? We are operating not just on one different timeline, we're operating on multiple different timelines. Multiple different timelines. And if you're paying attention as you're moving throughout your day, you'll be able to see that. Sometimes you're in the past, sometimes you're in the now, sometimes you're in the future. Multiple different timelines. Sometimes you're back in the 80s, sometimes you're back in the 90s, sometimes you're back in the early 2000s, sometimes you're back in the 50s. And if you pay attention, you can see this unfolding in real time in your experiences. And how do you know that? You're paying attention to people's thinking. You're paying attention to people's emotions. They're going to be the signature as to show you where you are. Remember, before I jumped off of social media, I used to tell you guys all the time, your emotions, right, are indicators. They're not for you to allow your emotions to control you. Your emotions are indicators of how you need to navigate through things, of how you need to deal with things, of how you need to maybe set your intention towards things. Sometimes you might have to tell your emotions how to feel. Sometimes you might have to tell your mind how to think. So don't allow your energy to get snatched from you right now. They've been setting us up for a while now, okay? Setting up even the young kids, trying to confuse them about sexuality, all of that, whatever social projects they have going on around your sexuality has nothing to do with your physical sexuality. It is spiritual. And it is between your masculine and your feminine aspect of yourself. It is spirit. It has to do with your bioelectrical magnetic field. You can call it masculine energy. You can call it feminine energy. You can call it the divine masculine. You can call it the divine feminine. You can call it left brain. You can call it right brain. You can call it whatever. You can call it father, mother, whatever you want to call it. It has to do with you internally knowing who you are on your logical, reasoning, thinking aspect, and on your emotional, creative, intuitive aspect, okay? This is how you're being controlled in this energy right now. Y'all are gonna hear me repeat this in all of my videos because I gotta get y'all to see this, okay? You are electric magnetical beings, and the way that you are being attacked right now, it is spiritual, and that is being done through mental health. Hey Kim, how are you, sweetie? That is being done through your mental health and your emotional health. Do y'all know that they have a lot more people on anxiety medicine now than it's been 20 years ago? Do y'all know right now, like, this younger generation is more stressed out than this older generation? The younger generation, so my son, I think he's a millennial, I don't even know what are they called, millennials now, right? Do you know that this younger generation, from the age of, let's give it from the age of 14 to the age of 25, is more stressed out than those of us that are in our 40s right now? I am back, Kim. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me. This was just me reaching out to the community to let you guys know I'm back. You're going to see me on here a little bit more regularly. I don't know if you guys noticed that. This newer generation has to deal with more social anxiety than we had to deal when we were their age. And that is purposely done. Okay, so whether it's their faces also always being in the gadgets, right? So I was at the pool This wasn't yesterday. This probably was yesterday. And there was this gentleman in the pool with me. And he said to me, I don't understand how you can be bullied on the internet. Right? Hold on, y'all. I need to plug in my charger cord. So he says to me, you're seeing it with your teenager? Yeah. So he says to me, like, I don't understand how this generation, like, how is cyberbullying even a thing? Why don't they just click off the screen? Right? So what I was trying to explain to him is the same thing I'm explaining to you right now. Even the gadgets and all of your your electronic, that also has to do with your bioelectric and magnetic field. And that's what's being attacked right now. I don't know how much of you has also noticed that you could think of a thing, right? And when you open up your YouTube or you open up Instagram or you just open up your phone, that thing that you were thinking about pops up at the top of your screen. It literally pops up at the top of your screen. There's been a few times when I've held my phone and have my phone in my hand and I'm scanning through the phone and my phone burns my hand. Like my electrical charges from my hand is not vibing with the phone. So now I literally feel myself shock myself through the phone. Right? So kids now in this generation right now, they are very hypersensitized. They're on sensory overload. Okay, so if you have teenagers, you wanna pay attention to that. You wanna have conversations with your teenagers. You wanna allow your teenagers to exactly the well. I share this with my kids. I have my oldest son who is 19. He's been aware of your auras and he's into a lot of anime, so they hide a lot of the mysteries in the anime. And sometimes when I have conversations with him, he blows my mind as to how he gets it, like he understands. And the one thing I love about this kid is he does not let anybody penetrate his field. Like if you're angry and upset and your mood is off, he's not going to allow you to affect his mood. He's not allowing you to affect his mood. He's not going to do that. Like you're going to be on your own with that, but he's not going to allow you to affect his mood. So some of these kids in this younger generation are not doing well with this transition that we have. They're not doing very well with these energies that's out here, right? They don't know how to balance the energy. They're caught up in that cliquish pods of energy, and they don't know how to balance out the energy that's flowing in them, through them, and out of them. Okay? I don't know if y'all have any questions for me. I want to see how you guys have been doing with this I want to see how you guys have been doing with this Pluto Aquarius transition. If any of you guys feel this energy shift. My thing is about to die. I don't understand why it's not charging. All right, so let's do this. I haven't done, I started doing a reading earlier, but then I started just to talk about and catch up. So let's do this really quickly. Okay. We're going to do a pull for mental clarity and emotional clarity, right? And we're going to see exactly what messages are out here. Okay. We have, there's a cleanse needed. Okay. Think about your happiness. You want to be able to tap into your intuition. All right. I want to say, pay attention to how you're dispersing your energy. It's going to be important for you to pay attention to how you're dispersing your energy. And when I say that, pay attention to even the conversations that you're having with people. Most importantly, you want to pay attention to the conversation that you're having with yourself about yourself. Okay, I said that in the other live that I had to stop, but it's important for you to pay attention to the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself and this energy. You want to cleanse anything that's toxic in your experience right now. And for a lot of people, that toxicity may not have anything to do with physical people, but it really has to do with emotional toxicity that you may have been holding on to, or mental toxicity that you've been repeating in your mind. Okay, go with your intuition as you're moving throughout this energy. Be an independent thinker, right? Instead of just believing what you hear, you want to get all of the facts and then make your own independent thinking. Okay, you just don't want to believe what people are telling you. You want to gather all of the facts and then independently process it yourself and then come to your own conclusion of how this is going to go down, right? Do not make decisions unless you are mentally clear and emotionally clear. It is not good for you to make impulsive decisions as we're moving throughout this energy. Anybody that's abusing their power, including you, in this energy, you're going to get called out, and it's not taking a long time to happen. Okay, so you can't wish, so you can't be in charge of people in this season and misuse your power. You can't be in charge of people's money in this season and misuse their money. You can't be in charge of loving somebody in this season and misuse the love. You can't do that in this season. You will get called out, and it's not taking a long time to come back. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. Pay attention to your. You got to be able to trust yourself too. And the only way that you're going to be able to trust yourself in this season is by spending time with yourself. Turn the TV off. Sit in silence at least for 20 minutes a day. Do you know how much things are spoken in silence? Do you know how much clarity you gain in silence? Do you know how much wisdom is given in silence? Pay attention to the energy as it's moving throughout your body. Right? Pay attention to the energy that's moving throughout your body. Pay attention to your vibration. Pay attention to the vibration of other people in your surroundings. Become very in tune with that. So let me give you an example. I don't know if any of you have ever been standing in like the supermarket or standing in the store, right? And as you're standing in the supermarket, you're standing in the store, somebody comes and they stand next to you. And immediately you feel like that person has stepped into your personal space, right? And you can feel like there's something off, like you just don't like the way this person feels because they've now stepped into your auric field, but you can feel at their energy, there's just something off about their energy. It feels like they're sucking your energy. It feels like they're just pulling on your energy. I don't know if any of you have had that experience, okay? Pay attention to that, okay? And sometimes it happens, Leslie, as you move to the left, they'll move with you. So you move over a little bit, but they'll still move with you. Pay attention to that as you're moving throughout this energy in 2024, right? Yeah, that's important. You want to trust that. You want to trust that what you're feeling is what you're feeling. If you know that you're feeling a little emotional today and you're not on your game right now, you need to acknowledge that within yourself. Okay, today I do not feel like I just don't want to be bothered today. And if you're having a fuck everybody day, acknowledge that. Today's a fuck everybody day. I really don't want to be bothered. And it's okay for you to acknowledge that and spend the time that you need by yourself. If you feel like you're having a fuck everybody day, you don't want to be bothered today, it is not nice or kind or right of you to take that energy and then project that out to other people. That's the type of shit that I'm talking about, that's abusing your power. Because you have the power to know that you feel a certain type of way, right? That don't mean that you spew that power on other people else. Hey, Kia, how are you? Okay, so you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to feel a type of way, to be off emotionally or be off mentally, and then take that out on other people. That's not what you want to be doing in this energy. Okay? You was at Kroger's and this lady was standing next to you. You started feeling overwhelmed and you wanted to cry. Once I moved, the feeling went away. Yeah. Also, being around certain people brings you. Yep. Pay attention to that. Okay. So what you're gonna feel, once you start to pay attention to that, because this takes me back to you understanding your bioelectrical magnetic field. Okay, this really takes you into understanding that you are an electric magnetic being. Okay, you are an energetic being. So if you can be standing in the supermarket, hey Elizabeth, how are you? I know I haven't been on forever. If you've been hold on, CJ. If you've been standing in the supermarket and you can feel somebody's energy, that's your bioelectric magnetic field. And you need to pay attention to that, because that's what's coming onto play right now. And it's already started. The fact that you can take your thumb and you can put it on your gadget and open your phone, the fact that you're doing facial recognition, all of that is your bioelectric magnetic field. The fact that you can point a camera and begin to see your auric field. So this is already happening. But if you do not understand how it works, then anybody can come in and snatch your energy or zap your energy or unplug energy that you don't want to be a part of. Right? So pay attention to the pods of people in this pod-like energy. And okay, so we're going to get into clone energy for a while. There's a lot of clone energy around, and we talked about that before I had to jump off, before they kicked me off the last live, right? There's a lot of clone energy right now. And when I say clone energy, a lot of people are being cloned and they don't even know that they're being cloned. This is why it is important, and I've been told, get the message across to people. They need to think independently. You got to be an independent thinker. They need to make sure they're balanced mentally and balanced emotionally. You do not need to debate with everybody. You don't always have to be right. Allow people the space and the freedom to do what the hell they want to do. It is not everybody's graduation. Not everybody's going to get it. You are not here to pull everybody over the finish race. That is not your job. You are not here to pull everybody to the finish race of ascension. It's just not your job. If people have not gotten it by now where we at, they're not supposed to get it in this go round. They're just not. Understand and learn the difference between space and walls. Okay, you may have to share 4 walls with somebody, a cubicle, a space, an office at the job, so you may have to share walls with somebody, but you don't have to share space with everybody. Space is inner. Space is the attention that you give to other people, whether that be mental attention or emotional attention. So you need to know the difference between sharing walls with somebody and sharing space with somebody. Not everybody should get space within you. There are now pockets of energy. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this. I know me and Kia have talked about this behind the scenes, where you could go into a different city or a different town, and a different city or a different town give you a different vibration than a particular city or town, right? It's the same thing when you're interacting with people. People have energetic signatures, and a lot of energetic signatures are being cloned. They're like this beehive mentality. And if you are not aware of that, you're going to get caught up in that beehive mentality. Do not pay attention to the distractions that's happening right now. It is a time for you to be able to know yourself. How have you been doing, Elizabeth? I feel like there's something else. Let me go back to my notes. Okay. So I told you all about the people that are abusing power. I told you guys about being self-aware, right? Um, I told you we spoke about emotional and mental intelligence and mental health, right? Oh, okay. Um, explain the more expansive hidden knowledge. Okay. All right. So this is something that I haven't talked about. Okay. So one of the things that you're also going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing this more so maybe towards midsummer if it hasn't, or midsummer or springtime, right? You're going to be seeing a lot of hidden knowledge or a lot of AKA lost knowledge being surfaced, right? Um, you're going to see that you're going to, it's kind of like things that have been hidden under water is going to surface. Now remember, water represents emotions, right? So a lot of things that may have been hidden under water, right? And this could be spiritually, this could be physically, metaphysically. A lot of things that were once hidden under water. Water represents emotions. You're going to find that a lot of that is going to be coming to the surface. That's probably going to be happening a lot around springtime, especially when we kick into Aries Taurus season, right? Because then you're establishing another 12 cycle or 12, the 12 wheel cycle. So don't be surprised if something that you may have thought you dealt with or something that you didn't even know was there now pops up around the Aries and the Taurus season. And once again, you need to be mindful when you're dealing with any uh zodiac or any astrology information. You also have to pay attention to your opposite, right? So Aries, you got to pay attention to Libra, okay? Scorpio, you got to pay attention to Taurus. Capricorn, you got to pay attention to the Cancer energy. Virgo, you got to pay attention to Pisces, and so on and so forth, right? The opposite is going to be speaking to you now that we've transitioned into this energy, all right? So for me, I'm a Scorpio. I have to pay attention to what the Taurus energy is saying to me, right? So Taurus energy is going to be speaking to me on an emotional level or a mental level, and I got to be able to pay attention to what that vibration or what that energy is saying. Now, you don't have to become a an astrology whiz for this. Like you don't. There's enough content on YouTube for you to figure out what's unfolding in the Taurus, vortex, and what's unfolding in the Aries vortex, right? And when I begin to do readings again, I am going to be focusing on the opposite signs. I'm not just going to be focusing on your particular sign. That's going to be important because we're now in an energy where there has to be a balance. You got to be balanced mentally and emotionally. And if you're not balanced mentally and emotionally, you will be told how to think, how to feel, what to do, how to move, how to think about things, how to process things, how to release things, how to embrace things, how dysfunction is now the new normal, right? And another thing I want to leave you guys with, the world is now in mass psychosis. I don't know if you guys know what that means. You might want to look that up. The world is now in mass psychosis, okay? And dysfunction is now the new normal. So if you're not an independent thinker, you will get caught up in the mass psychosis, and you will now begin to think that dysfunction is normal. This is why you need to be able to be neutral, okay? So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I've been on here for like 2 hours now. It's good to see everybody. I have missed you guys. And if you've emailed me and I haven't responded to you, that is because I have not been paying attention to any emails or anything. I'm going to start posting some more stuff on Instagram, and I'm definitely going to be doing some more lives. We're going to get back into some readings. But my readings, I'm just gonna let you guys know, they may not always be focused around your zodiac sign. They're probably gonna be focused around more of your mental and emotional well-being than they are gonna be around your zodiac sign. Okay? And I feel like Um, I feel like I have some stuff written down in another notebook, and I'm gonna make sure that I checked on that. Not I feel, I know I do. I have stuff written down in another notebook that I need to share with you guys. Um, but I'm gonna have to do that on another video because I've been on here for like 2 hours now. But I have missed you guys. I do have, like I said, a lot of content that I did that I just haven't released. You are so welcome. I'm gonna be back. I might. I'm gonna be back. I might jump back on here tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. I'm trying to. I don't. What I did last time, guys, was I burnt myself out last time. I was just doing too much. I burnt myself out. I burnt myself out last time. I was just doing too much. I was pretty much doing content pretty much every day. Thank you, Kia. Yeah, I was pretty much doing content every day. And even when I came back on a day, I was like, I felt like, like a fish out of water. Like, it took me a minute to get back into myself. Like, girl, you've been doing this for a while now. You've been gone for a while, but, you've been doing this long enough. Yes. Yes. Stepping out of my comfort zone and giving myself grace. Yes. So, okay, there's a few on it. So let me, because I don't want to, so this is what I don't want to do now that I'm back. I do not want to waste your time or your energy talking about and diving into things that's not going to be beneficial to you, right? In the past 2 years, what I have been doing is studying a lot about how to uplift us mentally, how to pay attention to the agendas and the projects that's going on externally and how we can navigate to those, how to uplift us emotionally. And I can like jump in and speak in those things. I don't know if you guys are still interested in tarot. The tarot cards, let me know if you guys are still interested in me doing tarot, and I will do that. But I gotta be honest with you. I feel like if I'm going to be doing the tarot, it's not going to be like what everybody is doing. It's just not. It's not. Because if you're not mastering the whole wheel, none of that shit is going to help you in the long run. Like if you're not paying attention to the whole wheel, right? So this is how it's really, this is how it's supposed to play out when you're even dealing with the zodiac wheel, right? So if you think of each sign makes up a part of you, right? So Aries, we start at the, you're still into tarot? Okay. Okay, you guys are saying do what I love. Okay, so we think about it like this, right? So if we're going to be diving into tarot and astrology, we got to do it where you guys are understanding and navigating through this, where you're not caught up in someone always telling you, oh, he's cheating, or oh, somebody's trying to do black magic on you, or oh, because I've taught you guys before, if you understand your power, can't nobody step in and take your power away from you. They just can't. Once you've gotten to a level in the spiritual game, if somebody's trying to come in and do something negative towards you, your frequency is up here. Their frequency is not going to be able to reach you. It's going to miss, right? So you start at Aries. Aries represents your power, your I amness, okay? You go down to Taurus. Taurus is going to then say, okay, now that I am this, how do I use what I have? Right? So now that I am this, how do I use what I have? Taurus energy deals with what you have, right? Then you go down to Gemini, all right? So Aries energy is telling you the power that you walk with, right? Then Taurus is telling you what you have and how you can make that stable in your life, how you can produce in your life financially as well as stability, right? Now, Gemini is going to come in and say, okay, how do we need to move in our thinking about what we have and who we are? So each one of these zodiac signs are supposed to be a layer upon a layer upon a layer to take you through the wheel. You're not supposed to get stuck in any particular aspect of the zodiac wheel. You're supposed to be able to navigate because they're archetypes. When you get down to Cancer, after you know your power, after you know that you have this power, after you know what you think about this power, Cancer is then going to ask you, how do you feel about all of this power that you have? right? So if you don't know your power, if you don't know you have your power, if you don't know what you think about your power, then you can't really feel anything about the power, right? So this is how the zodiac is supposed to be able to help you. It's supposed to be able to help you to go within yourself and master yourself. Okay, then you come down to Leo. Leo is a confident aspect. Okay, so I know who I am. I know what I have. I know what I think about me. I know how I feel about me. Now watch me will me into existence. Watch me use all of this that I have, I feel, I know, right? Watch me reel it and be confident about who I am, what I have, what I think, and how I feel, right? And that's just up until Leo, right? Then when you get down to Virgo, Virgo is then going to ask you, okay, let's analyze all this shit that you think you have, right? Or you think you don't have. So I want you guys to begin. That's how you're supposed to look at the zodiac wheel. And after you analyze everything, then you get down to Libra. Okay, I done analyzed all of this stuff. Now, how do I bring this into balance? Because you when you're manifesting in a place of negativity, you're gonna manifest negativity, right? And you manifest and create all day. You manifest and you create, or you meditate all day, every day. Whatever you're thinking about the most, you're meditating. Whatever you're repeating the most when you have conversations, that's a form of meditation, right? After you balance things out, Scorpio is going to come in and ask you, really, is that really what you want? Is that really the desires of your heart? Or you hiding some shit? Do we need to really transform what you think you analyze, right? Then after Scorpio is done with that, then you're going to have Sagittarius come in, and let's have a new perception about everything we just analyzed, everything that we desire, right? Then Capricorn is going to come in. All right, how do we use all this shit? Because, Capricorn is about utilization, right? How do we use this thing? Or how do we not be misused? Then after Capricorn comes in, then Aquarius is going to come in, and Aquarius is going to say, I know for sure, I don't believe, but I know for sure this is how it's going down, right? And once you know for sure, then Pisces is going to come in and close it all out. I understand. I understand where I am. I understand why I do what I do. I understand. So each one of these aspects are aspects within you that you need to master. It's not just one particular aspect. And like I said, every 2.5 days, you go through a cycle. You go through the same cycle that I said, from Aries all the way down to Pisces, and then back again, from Aries all the way down to Pisces, and back again. Your bioelectric magnetical field is online. And if you think I'm lying, ask yourself, why is McDonald's, why is Nike, why are all of these places buying up the metaverse? These virtual reality spaces. These virtual reality spaces require two things. They require you to have an imagination, aka imagination is linked to your emotions, and they require you to have some type of mental thinking, right? Which is connected to your logical aspect. You're not going to have big brand names buying up places in the metaverse or the virtual world if your bioelectric magnetical field didn't mean anything. Everything is attached to your imagination and your thinking. Everything is attached to your imagination, your thinking. Okay, so Shavakia said, do what I'm led to. Thank you, Shavakia. And Latasha said, Tyro, life energy, whatever you think is best. Okay, in place. Okay, I'm glad to hear y'all say that, because I can come on here one day to do something and then be led to do something else. All right, so let's do this. I am going to make a commitment to be back on here more. I can't. I've been trying, and if you ask Shavakia, like, I've been speaking to her about this for months. And she even told me one time, just pick a day, and just give that one day, just pick a day and give that one day, right? So I'll tell you guys what, I will definitely be back on here more often. For now, we're gonna lock in. Today's Thursday. We're gonna lock in Thursday, but I'm pretty sure you guys are going to see me back before next Thursday. Okay. I need to kind of like feel out my schedule. And I'm probably going to start doing more lives than pre-recordings. I'm going to have to shift through the pre-recordings and see what I want to release. Yeah. That's she would say, just pick a day. Like, just pick a day. So, since today is Thursday, I am going to pick Thursday. Thursday is Jupiter Day, so that's all about expansion. So let's expand on knowledge on Jupiter Day. Next time I come back, I am going to have my other notebooks with the channel messages, because I do have some more channel messages. And a lot of extra things have been coming in also. But the main thing that you're going to hear me talk about moving forward is your bioelectrical and magnetic energy. But you're also going to hear me talk about how that translates to your feminine, masculine energy, divine, masculine, feminine, male, female, left, right brain, creative versus intellectual. It's all the same fucking thing. Like, it really, so if you can understand that it all means the same thing, then when you hear it, you'll be able to know and discern what people are trying to say, right? So independent thinking, think for yourself, gather all of the information before you make any, outright decisions. You don't have to argue and debate and fight with everybody. You don't have to be right. Okay? You don't have to be right. Okay? This is not a season for what you call that? When they trying to division. This is not a season for division, okay? Although division is going to happen naturally. Let me just say that. Division is going to happen naturally. So you do not need to divide and separate anybody, okay? Division is going to happen naturally. But this is a season for unity consciousness. And when I talk about unity consciousness, this is not about you trying to bring somebody over to your side or your way of thinking. Unity consciousness is exactly what I've been talking about for the past 2 hours. Mental, emotional, left brain, right brain, divine masculine, divine feminine, however you want, ego, spirit, like however you want to put it. Ego represents masculine energy, spirit represents feminine energy. It's all the same thing, right? So divine union or divine unity has to start with you first. You can't make anybody unified if you're not unified within yourself, okay? So that's the energy we're in right now. Divine unity, if you are here and you're teaching other people, this is not the time for you to teach division and separation, because it's going to naturally happen. Your message and your message should be to your tribe or your community, divine unity with oneself. Don't debate other people. Independent thought. Balance your energy within self, your thoughts and your emotion. I sound like a broken record, and I know that I do, and that is because this is important. This is important. Between now and 2030, things that you would not have thought would happen is going to happen in the world. And we'll talk about some of those things coming up in some of the next live, but it's a beautiful time to be alive, but at the same time, you need to pay attention to what's going on in you and around you, as well as in your peripherals. Okay? So, I love you guys so much. I'm so happy to be back. Right? Oh, I'm so happy to be back. I love you guys much, and I'm going to see y'all next Thursday. I'm probably going to come on a little later next Thursday, maybe around 7:30-ish, 8 o'clock. So I could be on here for a little bit longer. And I might even jump on during the week, or I might come back on. All right? So I'll see y'all next week, okay? And I'll bring the notes next week, too, of some of the messages. I love you most. I love you much. All right, Kia, I'm going to call you on the backhand side. Sister, I don't know if you're still on here, but I love you guys. Leslie, Latasha, Miss T, I know I saw you in here, too. Okay, and I'll see y'all next week. Natasha, don't forget... don't forget to do the tuning forks, okay? Don't forget to do the tuning forks, especially at night. You can find Tuning Forks on YouTube. Try to find the Tuning Forks that has all of the frequencies. Try to find a video that has all the frequencies, and then try to do that at night before you go to bed. That's going to be very helpful, I promise you. Okay? All right, my loves. I'm going to see you guys next week. Be kind to yourself. Okay? Y'all know the deal. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, not because they deserve it, but just because you can. That don't mean that you got to put up with the BS, but just be kind to others because you can. Okay? I love you guys much, and I'm going to see y'all next week. Bye, my loves.